I'm Effie, this is What Effie Reads, and this week I'm going to try and complete Spoops' month-long Spoopathon in just 1 week. Can I do it? Let's see. So recently I've been struggling to read mostly, but my mood's been up and down a lot, and that's just meant that I just haven't been able to pick up a book, and if I have tried to pick up a book, I've just lost all focus very quickly. But I really love Spoops, and I love the Spoopathon that they've created, so I really wanted to try and participate this year. But as I've only got 1 week left before the end of Spoopathon, it's going to be a challenge. In order to keep with the original intention of Spoopathon, I'm only going to look at one wave of prompts at a time. So I'm not going to plan my TBR in advance. I'm just going to see what I can read in each wave of prompts, and hopefully I can manage to get to Spook Tech HQ, I think that's what it's called, by the end of the readathon. Otherwise, I guess Brad's going to become a zombie. I'm going to become a zombie. We're all going to become zombies. I'm not a particularly fast reader, so I'm going to be relying pretty heavily on graphic novels, possibly audiobooks, but we'll just have to see how I get on and see if I can complete it. Please forgive me, as the first clip I'll show random graphics on screen and bits of b-roll as I talk through picking the books for the first wave of Spoopathon. So it's Monday, which means I've got about 8 days to try and get through the whole of Spoopathon. Let's have a look at the prompts for wave 1 together and I guess figure out what I'm reading. So I spoke to Spoops last night because I was a little bit confused, and basically I'm sure it's been cleared up many times during the readathon, but I've been off my game this month. So for wave 1 I need to read at least 2 books. So let's see if I can find the prompt. I decided I was going to join the Insomniacs because 1, that's on brand for me. 2, I think it's going to be of most benefit to me because the Insomniacs get double points for sprints, which I feel like is going to give me an advantage throughout the Spoopathon. The team colour for the Insomniacs is green. So wave 1. So the prompts I've got to pick from are Blood Red, New Genre, Dark Magic, 5-star prediction, Haunting, Debut, Reread, and then at the extra ammo we've got Queer Rep, Recommended by a Host, Cover is Team Colour, Set over Halloween, and Diverse Author. Tricky. So I've had a look at my shelves and I will pop the covers on screen whilst I talk about them. But I have come up with 2 books that I think will work out well. I can't quite work out the points right now, but I'm sure I will update on points as I'm reading them. The 2 books I've come up with are Eat the Rich by Sarah Gailey and Pierce Back. I could be mispronouncing that. And this is a 5-star prediction, and it's also team colour because the edition I've got, the cover is green. Oh wow, this is so bad. I don't think I've ever seen Sarah Gailey before, but Sarah Gailey is absolutely fucking stunning. I am blown away. Anyway, distracted there. And The second book I've got is Fangs by Sarah Anderson, and that has a blood red cover, and you could also stretch it as well because the prompt is just blood red, and this is about a vampire. And it's also a reread. I think I read it at Halloween last year, actually. Those are the two books that I'm going to pick up initially, and they are both graphic novels, so I'm expecting to be able to get through them fairly quickly. And we'll see what I move on to next, I suppose.
2 years of 6407. How could you understand the 91606? Better than all your friends. Gentry parties feel like heaven. A bubble lost in time. I hope it isn't the end. I hope it isn't the end. Could you replay this again? I left so many memories, and I miss all of my friends. A man is only a story.
Please excuse the wet hair and the slightly different angle to normal. I haven't updated for the past couple of days. It's now Thursday, and the reason for that is basically I didn't get around to reading the books I'd picked until yesterday evening. I really enjoyed Fangs, which was a reread. I think I enjoyed it as much as I did the first time round. Like, I kind of wanted more from the world, but it was enjoyable. I do enjoy how well the vampire and the werewolf get along. I like the insight into their life. Eat the Rich was just great. I would have liked just a hair more story at the end, but it was a really good like subversion. It was a good kind of like creepy horror, and it made some great commentary about capitalism, so overall really enjoyed it. I am currently on reading sprints, as you may have seen from the b-roll. I'm just kind of watching some for the sprints tile. So when I've done the sprints, wait, I'm going to bring up the prompts for this time around, work out my points. So for Fangs, it was blood red and a reread. I'm not sure if it counts for any of the other prompts, so we'll just say 2 lots of 25 plus another 25 for the tile. So that is, oh yeah, we're calling them tiles. So that's 75 points for the first tile. And then for Eat the Rich, it was a 5-star prediction, so that's 25 points. Queer Rep, so another 25 points. Cover is Team Colour, so that's another 25 points. And Diverse Author, so that is 100 points. Plus for the tile, so that's 125 points. So that is 200 points. And then for the sprinting tile, I will get 50 points because you get double points for being on the Insomniacs team, which I think means that I'll be able to pass the first obstacle tile. Yeah, so to pass Heal, you need 150 points. So obviously I'm going to be able to pass that because I've got 250 points. And I guess let's see what the Wave 2 prompts are. Obviously I still need to do the city break, which I think I'm going to watch an episode of Cabinet of Curiosities because I've been itching to watch it. And then we get to move on to Wave 2, I suppose. Sorry, I'm really rambly. Hopefully I'm going to be able to edit this so this isn't such an annoying clip. So, the Wave 2 prompts: Pumpkin Orange, favourite genre, first person narrative, under 200 pages. The team specific prompt is Gothic. And then we've got Criminal, Inhuman. And the extra ammo points are Gifted to You, Read in a Day, Award winning book, Remind You of a Host, and Spooky Book. Okay, so I'm going to pause recording and go have a look at what I've got on my shelves. So I've had a wee nosy at my shelves, and the books I'm going to primarily be putting on are For the Kid I Saw in My Dreams, Volume 1. I think this is about twins where one of them's died. I don't know too much about. I will try and talk a little bit more about the books this time. I will try and actually get on it and read these quicker, since I want to try and get Spoopathon done in a week. And it's under 200 pages, so that's the prompt I'm primarily using for that. And then for the prompt of Pumpkin Orange, I think this dress, you can't see it too well in this rubbish lighting, but it's pretty orangey, so I'm going to read Rain. I don't know if it's under 200 pages, but it looks like it's actually pretty chunky. So yeah, those are those two books, but I have been listening a lot of things on Depop at the moment, and I'm thinking I want to listen to an audiobook whilst I list things on Depop. So I may also listen to The Weight of Blood, which was my buddy read for last month. I've been rubbish at the moment. So I may also listen to that, and I think that would fall under Criminal, because it's like a Carrie remake, or retelling. I don't know. We'll see, but I'll figure out how to squeeze it in. But these are the next two books I'm going to be primarily reading.
Summer nights, summer days, growing up in a small town. Chasing highs, wonder why, feels like we're getting old now.
So, as you may have seen, I was adding stuff to Depop yesterday, and I was listening to The Weight of Blood at the same time. I did enjoy it. It's still not at the level of Monday's Not Coming, which that was such a good book. Or Grown, in fact. Like, I think I like Tiffany G. Jackson's, like, I would say, like, contemporary thriller. I'm not quite sure how you'd, like, categorize each one. White Smoke didn't do it for me, but part of that was the bedbugs thing, which I think a lot of people had an issue with. And then, like I say, The Weight of Blood, it was okay. I think it came out about a 4. I wish, I don't know, like, something about it just didn't hit the same as the likes of Grown or Monday's Not Coming. It wasn't bad by any stretch of the imagination. It did take me a minute to get into, but I think that's probably going to be the case for a lot of readers, at least a lot of readers of the similar complexion to me. But what I will say is Jackson's doing something very deliberate, and like, knowing how Jackson writes, I was very much like, yeah, this is going somewhere, it's cool. Like, I'm not worried, I'm just a bit confused. And it did go somewhere pretty cool. Yeah, overall, I really enjoyed it. It's been a while since I read/watched Carrie, So I can't 100% say how it compares. It's quite similar from my recollection. Um, yeah, it was fine, and I'm definitely still going to be picking up more Tiffany D. Jackson. Like I say, I did enjoy it. I liked what Jackson did, creating like a different play on this. I thought it was very clever, very interesting. I really enjoyed the podcast element. I think I would have liked a bit more from that. And as far as the audiobook version of this book, absolutely fantastic. Really enjoyed it. Would highly recommend. I think since it's now pretty late on Saturday and I'm still on wave 2, what I'm going to do is pick one of the two books that I chose the other day to fulfill the other tile. And then hope that I can somehow do 2 waves worth tomorrow. I guess we'll see how I get on.
How could you understand the 91606 better than all your friends? Gentry parties feel like heaven, a bubble lost in time. I hope it isn't the end. I hope it isn't the end. Could you replay this again? I left so many memories, and I miss all of my friends. A man is only in stories.
So I'm about 100 pages into this and I'm starting to really enjoy it. It took me a minute to kind of get into it because it's a lot more pictures on the page as opposed to text. And I find that sometimes it can be difficult to follow a story that way. But we're slowly getting more of a backstory and more information. And I'm very intrigued by where it's going. It kind of feels like it could be a story that's wrapped up in one volume, but I suspect it isn't going to be. And it's just very intriguing to read. I'm not sure if I'm going to finish it before bed or if I'm going to leave it until I get up tomorrow, but I should be finished it fairly quickly. So I was just checking the graphic. I can't even remember why, but I was checking the graphic and I realised that I messed up. I was meant to do a sprints tile before I moved on to the wave 2 prompts, which means that the weight of blood absolutely does not count, which is really annoying. But I think what I'm going to do is, it's Sunday, so there's quite a lot of reading sprints going on. So I'm going to put some reading sprints on, participate for like one batch of sprints, and during that time continue reading For the Kid I Saw in My Dreams Volume 1. And then hopefully I can count that for one of the Wave 2 tiles. And then I've got Rain, which, if you remember, I was originally going to read for this wave and then changed my mind because I read The Weight of Blood. So I've got Rain, which I'll read for the second Wave 2 tile. And then I think I get to move on to City Break. I think there's an obstacle tile in the way, but I'm really hoping that I don't have to worry about that obstacle tile, and that I've got enough points. I think I should, because I think you need like 350 points to get past that obstacle. And before I did City Break last time, I think I had 250. So I only needed to get 100 points this time. So hopefully it counts. I guess we'll see, but it just makes it even more difficult for me to finish because I thought I was almost done with wave 2 and I kind of haven't even started it yet.
First of all, I miss you, and secondly, I never want to see your
I managed to catch some reading sprints, which is good, and I've also finished For the Kid I Saw in My Dreams, Volume 1, which I really enjoyed. Although I am a bit mad at myself for thinking that the story would revolve in one volume, because it very clearly hasn't, but we've gotten a lot of backstory already. So I'm interested to see what happens in the next 8 volumes, and that's assuming this isn't an ongoing series, which I think it probably is, but I definitely want to pick up whatever comes next. So I think what I'm going to do now is read Rain and see how quickly I can get through that. And then I think it's a city break after that, which will be nice.
Make another playlist with words I'd say directly to your face if I was brave enough. But instead I will give it a title that matches yours. Then listen with my headphones in and wonder what I'm crying for. I'm just exhausted cause you said you needed me, and I took that way too seriously. So forgive me for saying I'm sorry. I don't need nobody except maybe you. Oh, is it true love if I don't love anyone else? Maybe it's time that I stop lying to myself.
Oh my gosh, Rain was absolutely heartbreaking, but so brilliant. Like, definitely, easily a 5 star, highly recommend. And I love the way it ended. And because there's a whole heap of art at the back of the book, I didn't expect it to be the end. Like, it felt like a good place to end, but it wasn't until I turned the page that I knew they had actually ended it that way. Oh, and the art at the back, absolutely gorgeous. Like, I want prints of every one of the pieces of art because it's just so beautiful. Um, I need some lunch, and then I think I need to count up my points, and hopefully, I've got enough points to pass the next obstacle, and then I'll be able to proceed on to city break. So I think I'm making jacket potatoes. I don't know if you can hear them in the sheen in the background. So I'm gonna check on my potatoes, and if they're like just about done, there's like, you've got to put butter in and leave them for 10 minutes. Anyway, if they're nearly done, I will go through and check my points, and hopefully I can kind of have like my city break whilst I am eating my lunch. And that'll work out nicely, and then I'll move on to wave 3. So I totaled up my points and I now have 525 points. That was before I did the city break tile, which means that I have enough points to get past all of the obstacles. So I will total up my points like at the very end and do like total points for Spoopathon. But I don't need to worry about totaling again before that because I know I'm going to have enough to get past the final obstacle. So I watched an episode of Devilman Crybaby as my city break. I've mostly been watching it in the evening before I go to sleep, but I was like, no, I'm going to treat myself, guilt-free activity, going to watch it whilst I eat some lunch, although it was mid-afternoon, so more like tea. Anyway, so I'm now on to wave 3, so I'm going to check the prompts. I'm really hoping for another set of like relatively easy prompts. Like, I need to read 3 more books to complete Spoopathon, and I've got about 30 hours left, but obviously that includes sleep, and I am meant to have plans tomorrow. I need to double check if they're still happening, but I am meant to have plans tomorrow, so I've really only got today and maybe a couple of hours tomorrow. So let's see what the prompts are for wave 3. Wave 3 prompts. So we've got Bone White, Trick or Treat, Based on a True Story, Graphic Novel, perfect, Your Biggest Fear, ebook, and then the extra ammo points. There's Favourite Author, 2022 release, hauled over 2 years ago, poll, or one word title. So graphic novel means that basically I can just go through my graphic novel shelves and pick some out, so I'm laughing. I guess I'm gonna have a look at my shelves and see what takes my interest. But I'm really happy at those prompts. I figure why not look at wave 4 as well, since I'm going to be moving straight onto that. So I think I'm going to pick 2 graphic novels and let's see what the wave 4 prompts are. So wave 4, Slime Green, over 500 pages, gentle spooky, audiobook, Final Girl, Badass Weapons, or New Author. And then the extra ammo prompts, new author is also extra ammo, so double prompts if I read a new author. Next in a series, tome, translated book, or ask a friend. So those all seem pretty okay. Like I say, I'm going to pick a couple of graphic novels or comics or manga, and I guess I will see how I get on with them. I'm feeling fairly optimistic now, but who knows, like I'm not feeling great today, but hopefully I can get this reading done. I feel like I'm rambling, I'm sorry. Anyway, see you in a bit. Oh wait, I meant to pick the books, sorry. Back in a moment then. It was surprisingly difficult to pick as I'm kind of getting through all my graphic novels and comics. I don't think there's many that I haven't read yet, and also some of them I don't know, I'm not quite in the mood for, but in the end I've picked The Promised Neverland Volume 1. I don't know too much about it, but I've kind of been told to go in not knowing too much. Pretty excited to pick it up though, because I have heard it's pretty good. And the other one I've picked up is The Many Deaths of Layla Starr. I've been pretty desperate to read this, and I was really hoping I could squeeze this onto my Spoopathon TBR, so I'm pretty hyped that I'm going to be able to pick it up. I think because I'm so excited, I'm going to read The Promised Neverland Volume 1 first, so that I can kind of build up anticipation for this one. I'm not going to pick my Wave 4 book just yet. Like, it would be pretty exciting if I could read an actual full-length book for it. But I also think, considering it is the 30th of October, probably just squeeze another graphic novel on. What I might do is pick a graphic novel, short story, audiobook, something, so that like I've technically completed it, and then pick up something else that, if I finish it, is like an extra book that I will have completed on that tile, but if I don't, I've still managed to complete Spoopathon. But I'm feeling cautiously optimistic right now, so I'm gonna go read and I'll check back in a little bit later. So I started The Promised Neverland Volume 1 and I'm really enjoying it. I've got to the first twist. I'm assuming there's going to be more twists. Like I've read like the first chapter of it, really enjoying it, but I'm just feeling like all I want to do is curl up in bed. So I've gone through the local library, had a look at the graphic novels available. So I think I'm gonna curl up in bed, maybe read some of those. Like, I'm gonna just be kind to myself and go with the flow. But I'm gonna try and read 2 more books for this wave, and then hopefully I'll be in a position where I can move on to wave 4 tomorrow morning. I mean, we'll see. Maybe after a couple hours lying down I'll feel a bit better, but I'm just not feeling well enough to be sat up reading physically at the moment. But I will probably update you in the morning on how I got on and what I thought of what I read. So I ended up having a super chill evening last night, and I did do some reading. I read a couple of graphic novels, which means that wave 3 is done. So I read, I think it's called Slappy's Tales of Horror. It's like a Goosebumps graphic novel collection with like 4 different stories. It wasn't that good. It's been years since I read Goosebumps stories, but I remember them having more teeth, and I remember the writing being a bit better. And I don't know if this was one of these projects where like R.L. Stein's name was on it, but he hadn't actually written them because they were just a bit weak, and like I say, they didn't have any teeth to them. And then I read Demon Slayer Volume 1, and it was okay. I think a lot of my lack of enjoyment came from the way that it's set up in digital form. So it's set up so you read it the correct way, which is great. But it's like 2-page spreads, which means that you're constantly having to zoom in to try and see little details. I think the story has some potential, but because it was only volume 1, you're only getting like very slightly bits and bobs of it being set up. Then like I didn't read any other graphic novels. Well, I read, it wasn't a graphic novel, but I didn't realise that till after I read it. But it was like, I think it was like a kid's book called I Am Quiet. I could be miles off. But what I also did was I finished Devilman Crybaby, and it was every bit as good as I've heard and every bit as heartbreaking as I'd heard. And now I'm going to double check the wave 4 prompt and see if I can squeeze a book in for wave 4 and actually succeed at Spoopathon. I've decided that for wave 4, what I'm going to do is I'm going to listen to an audiobook, which is one of the wave 4 prompts. And whilst I listen to that audiobook, I am going to put some makeup on. I haven't put makeup on for a while, but I've been itching to do a Halloween look, and since it's Halloween today, and I'll be seeing Shannon over at Head in the Books, always linked in the description, I just wanted to do a sort of Halloweeny look. Like, no, we're not planning to go out or anything, I just wanted to do something fun really. So let's see if I can do this makeup look in the time it takes me to listen to the audiobook. I'm listening to River of Teeth by Sarah Gailey. It seems fine so far. I started it earlier. And I guess we'll just see. Sorry, I just kicked the tripod there. We'll just see how I get on really.
It's like I'm trapped in a cage, feeling broken in places, reeling from all these faces, screaming at me from the inside out. I've had enough, forget it. I don't need it, but forgetting I need you a little from the inside out. No saying I've got it worse, no saying it's the most hurt I've been, but it's enough to piss me off, and it's not always the deepest cut that leaves the longest scar. Oh, you got a little black soul, as dark as it gets, you're a gaping hole of emptiness, a big bag of regrets. Can't close my eyes, don't wanna see what comes next. Oh, you got a little black soul, you're a shadow in the sun wherever you go. Got no friends and nothing to show for it, your little black soul. It's like you're oblivious to it. You can't see it, but you do it. What happened to us? It has me screaming inside out. I say you're wrong, so stupid. Even wrote this song to prove it. Sing it and you're gone, you lose it from the inside out. Not saying I've got it worse. Not saying it's the most hurt I've been. But it's enough to piss me off. And it's not always the deepest cut that leaves the longest scar. Oh, you got a little black soul, as dark as it gets. You're a gaping hole of emptiness.
So this is the final look. I'm realising that the lipstick's a bit wonky, so I'm trying to fix that. It's always hard to like fix lipstick, because then you end up like pulling off more than, oh look at that, it's just flaking right off. At least it looks that way, but it's not actually. Oh my gosh, sorry. It looks like it's flaking off, but it's really not. I think it's just because I've got like a pinkish colour underneath. There we go. I think. I don't know. So this is the eye makeup. I'm not convinced. Like, I kind of like it, but it's not quite what I had in my head. I think it would have been better if I'd reversed the colours and had like black sockets and red possession. I'm not quite sure what this is meant to be, but I don't mind it. It's a shame my hair's not playing ball this week, but let's see what it's like with the hair down. I don't know how far I am into River of Teeth. Like, it's not like, if my hair was a bit more tameable, that'd be pretty funky. Anyway, enough about vanity. I am okay with it. Like, I don't have any strong feelings about River of Teeth. Like, it's a story. I don't know if it's going somewhere, but yeah. I guess I'll check in later when I've finished it, but I need to start thinking about heading out now.
Where's the wisdom? Birds of flight, where you heading? Hedging my best, that's a blessing. Doing my best, that's the nexus. Texting my ex like you get this. Tore down my defenses. Broke the walls, broke the fences. Open walls, open-ended. Words is sitting, not poison. World is sitting, I'm poised when we go crash in the morning. We just smash, not mourning. Man, it's trash and I'm worse. Man, regards in a verse. We destroy what we love. We destroy, it's a curse. I don't know a lot. I don't know, I'm lost. Things that I forgot. The things that I am not. Swear to God that's fate. Pray to God we don't phase. Oh my Lord, on my face. Hold me up when we break. Swear to God that's fate. Pray to God we don't fade. I wake up every day and I stare at the wall. And I stare at the wall. Empty look on my face. I feel nothing at all. I can't taste, I can't sleep. Movies all look great to me. When I smile, my insides, they don't match what the people see. I am here, but my mind is somewhere lost in history. Who I was, who I am, and which one of the two is me. Memories, they bring me down, they bring me down. I can't sleep, stuck in this town, stuck in this town.
So, turns out I didn't manage to complete Spoopathon. I had about 30 minutes left on my final audiobook, but I just didn't have time to listen to it before midnight. So I guess Brad's going to be turned into a zombie. It's a bit annoying, sad, because I was so close to completing it, but clearly I just didn't quite make it. So, as you saw in the last clip, I wasn't able to complete Spoopathon in a week. I came this close to completing it. I think I had 30 minutes left on my final audiobook. But honestly, I'm not mad, because the reason I didn't manage to complete it is because I was able to spend an awesome Halloween with my best friend. So I'm going to take it as a win. Overall, I managed to amass 875 points, which I'm pretty happy with. During the course of a week, I read 8 books, but because I'd misremembered the Spoopathon map, I was only able to count 6 of them. There was definitely some wins, definitely some not so great books during the week, but overall I am so happy and I feel like I'm back into my reading groove, which is fantastic. But let me know how you got on with the readathon if you participated, and I hope you are doing well. Until next time, love you. Bye.
There's a place